this run shows off an interesting combo of the Spike Staff and the Busted Blade. So the Spike Staff is one of the new items. It uses 5 mana to gain 2 in power, and then if you're in Battle Rage, you also gain 2 spikes. And it requires the Magic Staff, which is from Broom and Mana Orb, and then you also combine the Magic Staff with a Spike Collar, which also got a price increase to 6 gold now. So it's pretty tricky to actually get there, I guess. And then the main thing is that obviously Busted Blade uses a ton of stamina, even when you're in Battle Rage. So I need some stamina potions, and just going for like the most amount of empower possible, because the Busted Blade gets +5 damage for every empower, and that can add up to like some pretty insane amounts. And then gonna combine that with some of the ruins to get some extra like crit chance and crit damage. Oh man, it just gets super cool. Seeing like the big red numbers, glad that they brought those back. It's super satisfying. But doing this in unranked, I'm currently like 44 diamond in Berserker. Really can't reach master. It's been quite a struggle, but this is why I play in unranked, because you run into teams like this. They have 2 short bows, or a tusk piercer and a short bow, and that's just free wins. You can kind of do whatever you want, get away with a lot of things, buy a bunch of pigs, as I've kind of mentioned. I got a lot of pigs in this game. At one point, I had maybe like 6 pigs or something like that, and they give like 2 extra HP as well. So, they're not completely useless. And then look at this board. I don't know what, just double bag of rocks? That's what they're going for? Interesting. I mean, they've buffed rocks so many times at this point. It used to be like I forget. It was really good a long time ago when Steel Goobert was good, because you just place like bag of rocks underneath Steel Goobert. But Steel Goobert has been nerfed so many times. Its block is not very amazing anymore, so it's not really good on defense. And there's just so many other things that end up just killing you so quickly. The hammer daggers from Ranger just ends up being so difficult to deal with, I feel like. But in order to set up for Busted Blade, gonna want a lot of the things that activates on Battle Rage. So let Dragon Scale Armor, even though it's been nerfed from 15% down to 13%, down to 10% now, it still ends up being kind of good. I mean, it's definitely not as OP. It used to be super OP, but now it's just like good. And then gonna need some Spike Collars to increase the Battle Rage duration. Gonna go for the gloves that activate during Battle Rage for that 40% increase. And yeah, just gonna go super fast. I guess we want the Spike Collar to go as fast as possible. Don't really care about the Busted Blade going super fast. If you want to win, I guess it'd be nice. Just gotta make sure you kind of balance like the stamina potions with how much like stamina you're using, obviously, so you don't stam out. But I really just want a ton of Empower. And Cheese, I guess that'll be good for Empower as well. If it's on sale, that's actually pretty good. This early on round 5, that's a lot of HP, plus it can sometimes give you Empower, or like Vampirism is also pretty nice. So yeah, this is kind of a strange board. Just having a staff, or not even a staff, just a Broom for my attack. It's not a lot of damage, but I'm managing to survive just because I have a bunch of defense. Not running into too many like scaling teams at this point because it's unranked, and so just kind of getting away with a bunch of things lets me set up for the thing in the end game. If I wasn't doing unranked, like I would just be dead by now. So yeah, trying to set it up is a lot harder. You have to get like pretty lucky early on with like the perfect combination of items in order to actually pivot into it. If I do it in unranked, it's so much easier to force. I think that's just the main thing you can get away with. But there's some gloves. I'm actually too poor. I figured with 3 pigs I would just be able to buy everything that I want, but not really the case. And I should probably just sell the healing herb though, because that doesn't really matter too much at this point. And then I can just buy the gloves. What? Okay. Just deciding not to do that. Roll into some boots. I suppose I can get that. And I should just sell the herb. Yeah, okay. I do actually manage to do that. Sell the herb and then get the dragon skin boots. That's another way to get Empower. And really, you don't want anything that like delays the battle rage from activating. Like I remember, well, not remember, but like it's with Gucci bag. It seems like 10 block would be super helpful, but sometimes you run into teams where you want to enter battle rage as quick as possible, so they don't have time to like get a bunch of buffs, get a bunch of stats going, or like running into flame whip or something, and they have time to get like so much heat before you can enter Battle Rage and actually like deal a bunch of damage. Super close round there. Surprised I won, but their Goob activations seemed kind of bad there. They didn't have like the Blueberry or yeah, they could have definitely optimized that team, but there is one of the spiked collars. Gonna need that for when I run into, or when I eventually get the mana orb and I'm able to combine. And another pair of on sale boots. All right, that's just one free Empower. That'll help out a decent amount early on, and I guess also it cleanses some debuffs just in case. Because I guess blind teams can kind of screw over Busted Blade sometimes. You don't run into them too frequently, but you don't really get a bunch of luck, especially if you're going with the Shaman, because you're using all your luck, so you kind of don't get that extra accuracy. And then hopefully the Shaman Mask gives you a bunch of Empower. It usually gives a decent amount, even if it's random. Double Burning Blade. What a strange team. They're stamming out, and it is a loss. Even on the combined turn when they're getting the Burning Blade. Alright, so there's the Shaman. Now it gives you a free rune in the shop as long as you buy it onto your board. Got to make sure to do that. It's the same with like Cryomancer. I don't know why. I feel like it should just give you it every time. But maybe there's like some... I don't think there's any situation where you wouldn't want it to show in the shop. So yeah, if you accidentally buy it, you don't get to see the first rune. But the critical hit one, that's going to be perfect for eventually when I pit it. I don't think it's going to do too much on a broom. I mean, this has got to be the latest broom like ever. Round 8, and this is my main DPS. Not looking so good. I'm actually shocked that like some of these rounds are even close. It's a Flame Whip, but do they actually have any spike generation? I guess they have a lamp. Okay, that's interesting. And the lamp is giving them spikes every time because it gives you the buff that you have the least of. So they're actually getting a ton of heat. Still managed to win though. I guess they just didn't have enough defense to survive the ultimate broom. So Heroic Potion, I probably don't want to buy it yet. I need to actually find the things that are good first because it's obviously not going to go off. On sale garlic, sure. Another pig. See pig, buy pig, of course. Don't really need a heart container. That doesn't really do anything. Do I want more spike collars? Not really. Although I am going to lose the spike collar when I actually do combine it, so maybe a backup would be nice eventually. I'm not sure how the items work in this game. Like, so from what I've heard from Time for Miracle, if you pass an item on your first go around, you're less likely to see it in like future shops or something like that, which is kind of an interesting mechanism. And I feel like if you don't see something, maybe he mentioned this, but if you don't see something in the shop, then like your odds kind of increase that eventually you see it. But I'm not sure how true it is. I know that every other roll you do see space, which is nice. The only issue, like, I gotta stop locking a lot of space because I feel like I'm not gonna see it again, but you are just guaranteed to see it again. Sometimes you get like Gucci bag, which doesn't really feel like space, but finally there's the mana orb. I was waiting for that for such a long time. I'm gonna buy the crit things for when I eventually find the Impractical Greatsword. And then, yeah, so there's 5 pigs on the squad. Pretty nice. Elephant rune. I guess I can take that on the spike staff. That will be okay. I never really know how useful it is actually to like stun for half a second, because a lot of times it doesn't seem like it's insanely helpful, but like it's got to do something. It's got to be slightly helpful at least. And then the Wolfbringer guy I mean, that's going to give Empower, plus it reduces the base stamina, and you know, Spike Collar plus Busted Blade, of course. I guess that's going to be somewhat useful. I don't have any other pets though, so it's going to be really slow, and I'm not sure it's really worth it. If you find a whole bunch on sale, I guess it would be worth it, but I probably wouldn't buy it if it was actually 12 gold, even with this many pigs. So losing that round kind of hurts, down to 2 hearts, but I'm finally getting the build going. Now I do need to find another mana orb, though, in order to actually generate enough, because right now I just have Blueberry, but luckily I roll into it right away. I guess like the Shaman Mask can give you mana, and that would be another way to get it. But yeah, just did some rearranging there. Mana orbs in a pretty good spots. A decent amount of triggers from that. Been seeing these Ashbringer teams somewhat. I mean, this one's not particularly good, but running into some weird Pyro teams that use like, what is the pan-corrupted crystal? Pandemonium. That's like, it's kind of strange, but like Pandemonium, and then they have like a Phoenix as well. So that's when they like revive, they inflict a whole bunch of debuffs, maybe just have like a corrupted crystal or two, and then you get a whole bunch of debuffs on their team. And blind is surprisingly difficult to deal with sometimes. Like if certain builds just really struggle with it, and if you inflict enough blind, and then like it also inflicts some poison, so they just kind of kill you through that, and it can be kind of frustrating to deal with. There's some on sale space, love to see that. And there's some gloves, I probably want that. Yeah, go ahead and sell the coal and finally start to get things going. I guess, like, I don't know if I actually care to get the 40% faster. I suppose I do, because sometimes I think it's best or almost better to have it not use or not become, what is it called? Just not having the forging hammer change what it is, because like you can see we're reaching fatigue and I haven't even reached battle rage. So all this time it went to get the 40% extra speed increase. So maybe it's better to not actually have the gloves like this, but I think this is just a really weak team. They have like just super defense. And wait, what is that Steel Goobert? They don't even have any triggers besides the shield. That was perhaps the worst Steel Goobert I've seen. Oh well. All right. I guess using less stamina or reducing damage. Sure. Since I don't really have room for another leather armor, I guess I could take the Badger rune there. And then, of course, we're gonna definitely want the fanny packs to get this thing going as fast as possible. And then, yeah, so I bought the great sword. That's the power of having a whole bunch of pigs. I can actually just afford that. 14 gold without even having to sell anything. But I'm also on lethal, so I was kind of scared to actually put it on board and try to get the busted blade immediately, because I figured I would lose if I actually ran into a good team. But maybe it's still worth it, because I do get enough in power that I would activate the thing where it reduces the stamina usage and its cooldown. So maybe it's still better to put on board. I don't have any stamina potions. Luckily, there is one for next turn, so maybe I'll just wait one turn. And yeah, don't really. I guess I could get rid of a lot of the food for another leather armor. Maybe that would be worth it. Then I would have to get rid of my cheese, which is somewhat helpful. I mean, it's 10 extra health, which is not too bad. You know, can't get like anti-healed from the emeralds and stuff. And plus, it's giving a whole bunch of empower. 13 empower, not too bad. 15, decent. And a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Another mana orb. I think I can always use more mana because the cooldown's pretty quick, and using 5 every time, I mean, like 5 per second, that seems like a lot. So I think probably need as many mana orbs. Maybe 2 is enough. I don't know. I should probably be paying attention to these things. And more space. I guess I probably don't want that one. Or maybe I could fit it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can fit it. Yeah, okay. I do remember doing this, and that fits pretty nicely. Now I just need like a fanny pack or 2 Gucci bags, and then finally making the stamina potion. Let's see. Okay, a cryomancer, but they have it on a burning blade. Interesting. It doesn't look good, but the scrolls do eventually run out of triggers, and since it's only temporary frost, then after surviving that initial barrage, ends up not being too bad. And managed to win that. 22 in power. Pretty good, pretty good. There's an on sale ripsaw, so you definitely want another weapon. If you have 22 in power, I mean, I should actually check to see how much damage the forging hammer's doing. That's what I should actually have the gloves on, because man, that is, I think is it +2 or +3 damage per empower? I forget, but it is gonna be doing a lot of damage. And I could probably put the crit rune on the forging hammer, actually. I think that's probably better than inflicting blind. I mean, blind, again, is good against a lot of teams, but I think that extra crit chance could be pretty nice. It feels kind of bad to only have like a 15% crit chance. Like having that multiple slots. Like the ripsaw is 3. You get like 3 crit runes on there. That'd be pretty cool. And gonna put it in the mana orb trigger. Seems good. And I think, yeah, so I'm waiting until I get to 10 wins in order to actually put the Busted Blade on, so that if I happen to lose the combined turn, I don't instantly die. I'm not sure if a crown is even good here, because it's going to spend 10 mana to become invincible. I mean, that's probably worth it. I should, again, check to see, am I getting plenty of mana? I think I'm getting enough. Oh, I'm kind of using it all. So I don't know if I actually want the crown. Especially since it'll probably activate too fast and activate before the battle rage even happens. Although, I don't know, it is more healing and it cleanses blind. So I don't know. Like a lot of times I end up falling for the bait of something on sale, even if it's not exactly worth it. Like you can always sell it to get the gold back, but most of the time I don't end up selling it. So I really am just spending 6 gold. Although it is another trigger for the mana orb. 2.5 second cooldown is one of the faster things, so I guess that's good mana generation. So maybe it is ends up being worth it. Another spike collar. That's probably worth it since I don't have any extra battle rage. I forget how long battle rage even lasts to begin with, but spike collar increases it by 2. Sure. I should probably rearrange to get a third fanny pack on the spiked staff since it is only in 2 right now. I guess I don't really need the vampirism, don't have gloves or anything. Are blueberries worth it? Sure. And then I guess I don't really need the pigs anymore. The game's pretty close to ending. Of course, just want to socket everything possible so that I get the initial luck at the start from the shaman mask. And finally, the busted blade is going to come. It's pretty late into the run, but it's worth it just to see how much empower am I going to get. Also, I guess, yeah, 2 stamina potions. As long as I don't run into anything with too many shields. They just have, like, a frozen buckler. And also, looking at their team, their, like, thing isn't even pointed at their frostbites. So, yeah, just a lot of, like, unoptimized teams, which kind of gives you free wins. It also means it's harder to run into teams that are going to survive for a really long time against the Busted Blade. Because ideally, you'd have a team that's, like, super defensive so that it goes to like fatigue and you get a whole bunch of empower and you get to see the biggest number possible. Doesn't really happen too much in unranked, but you know, what can you do? At least I can survive until then. Fanfare, sure. I guess that is more mana generation and it's empower, so it kind of synergizes with the things that I'm going for. And whoa, okay, maybe this is a good fatigue team. They've got a ton of block, going for some poison. So this could be, oh my god, 301. God, it's just so satisfying. And 238. Wow, 30 empower. That is 230 to 240. Just love to see it. Just beautiful. And we don't even have like the max amount of crit runes. I don't know how many different runes are there and your odds of seeing one. I should probably know like the specifics. Are you guaranteed to see a rune like every certain amount of rolls, or is it just random? This is probably info that I could like easily look up and would be somewhat useful to know. But keep rolling. Another crown. I mean, more invincibility. If I just wanted to win, I should probably take it, but instead decide to roll. And would you look at that? The third crit rune. 45% chance to crit plus 45% extra damage. It's just beautiful. And I don't really want to spend 2 gold rolling. I guess I could find like more attack speed or something. Although I don't really care about attack speed on the Busted Blade. In fact, I probably want to go as slow as possible to build up as much empower as possible. And then, yeah, okay, I guess Fanfare will be okay last thing if I even have room for it. Yeah, not exactly the optimal spot for it, but hey, I guess it's better than nothing, potentially. And looks like a pretty solid team overall. So much mana generation, and hopefully, that's definitely got to be enough. Maybe it's even too much mana generation. I guess, yeah, if you get to 30 mana for the mana orbs, it gives you random buffs as well, so potentially that could happen. Run into another Busted Blade. I'm sure mine is superior, right? It's gotta be. The invincibility happens pretty early. Activate their battle rage first. I was kind of hoping to never activate their battle rage, or at least like wait as long as possible. Okay, and then look at that, 373. The game actually froze at such a like weird time. I have no idea why, but there we go. 33 in power. That is like that's a record for me, I think. And you can see 248 to 258, 136.6 damage a second. It's just absolutely crazy. Critting for 373. That's pretty much just a one-shot. And the spike staff dealt a decent amount of damage there. Spikes with the solid 26. And then looking at the empower, what managed to give the most? 18 from the spike staff, no surprise. 6 from the shaman mask. Only 2 from Fanfare, only 1 from the other Fanfare, and only 1 from like the cheese. But I guess every little bit helps. And yeah, would you look at that? Just such a beautiful team. That was a lot of fun. Like I went for the biggest Impractical Greatsword before, and now the biggest Busted Blade. So thanks for watching. See ya.